evening, YouTube. You guys are watching another segment of the Cali Effect. It is about that time of the year. No, I'm not talking about the holidays. I'm talking about when Konami drops an unexpected ban list on us to ruin your life. Coincidentally, they just seem to drop cards or unban cards off the list that might help you. But this time around, we're going to be talking about the top 5 cards that could never come off the list without some sort of an errata. Number 5 is a long-time favorite card, mainly because of its story behind it. And if you guys haven't known, this card also is so old. Ever since it's been banned, it hasn't even surfaced on the other side of the list. We're talking about Imperial Order. Now what Imperial Order does is that it negates all spell cards on the field. Furthermore, you have to pay 700 life points as a maintenance cost to keep this card on your side of the field. If not, it's destroyed. Now, the reasoning why Imperial Order is so freaking busted is because it negates all spell cards, man. And as you should know, spell cards are probably the most important aspect of the game, right behind monsters. I think what also makes Imperial Order really bad is that you can still activate spell cards, and under its current PCST, you will be able to set pendulum scales. You just won't be able to activate their effects. Another great thing is that Imperial Order doesn't really have a counter. Most cards that destroy spells and traps happen to be spells themselves. So Imperial Order pretty much puts Twin Twister and Cosmic Cyclone in check right there. Imperial Order can also be one-sided. Anytime I want to prevent my opponent from activating spell cards, I'll just flip face up Imperial Order. Then on my turn, before I even get to start my turn, when I want to use my spell cards, I don't want to pay for Imperial Order. And that's what really makes the card really busted. Number 4 on this list is another one of my favorite cards. Have you guys noticed? All of the cards I like are pretty busted. Super Polymerization! And not only is it a polymerization, it is super! Now, I think the first problem we should have with it is that it's a quick play. And if you guys don't know about quick plays, I genuinely feel it's the best mechanic in the game. Being able to activate it during my turn, in my battle phase, and on my opponent's turn, tends to make it really good. And we haven't even gotten down to the effect. What Super Poly does is that you can discard one card from your hand and then fuse from your side of the field or your opponent's side of the field a fusion material monster to your side of the field. Furthermore, I think what puts it over the top is that your opponent can't activate cards in response to Super Polymerization. So basically, I'm going to fuse and you can't stop me. The fact that it is in a quick play spell card allows me to activate it in my battle phase after I attacked over my opponent's monsters. Or I can use it in my opponent's battle phase to fuse with the monsters that they were going to attack with. And then summon a strong fusion monster gives it a little bit of unfair advantage. And what only makes it worse is that they keep making generic fusion cards that just keep getting better.
I don't want to talk about number 3. I've had horrors with number 3. I've had somebody resolve this card and draw 6 cards multiple times in one match. Yeah, that's right.
If you played in Dragon Ruler format, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. 6th Sense is a card that should have never even been created. All you have to do is declare one card from 1 through 6, or a number from 1 through 6, because cards don't come in 1 through 6. And then roll a 6-sided die. If you get it right, you get to draw that many cards. But here's the worst part. If you get it wrong, you get to send that many cards from your deck to your graveyard. In a world where cards like Foolish Burial is good, think about it. Foolish Burial just sends cards from the deck to the graveyard. 6th Sense exists. A card that allows you to send multiple cards from your deck to the graveyard. So in essence, 6th Sense is a win-win-win. Either I get to draw the 6 cards, or I'm going to send the top 6 cards from my deck to my graveyard. Decks like Lightsworns, Infernoid, Burning Abyss, just... Why is this card? Get this out of my face. It's terrible. This card should never come off the list. Even the fact that it's a trap card just... It doesn't matter. It's 6 cards.
On a side note, I've actually... seen people like activate 6th Sense and then call 3. I don't know why. I mean, I would want to draw 6 cards. But the fact that they always get it right just kind of like sits in the back of your head. Like maybe 3 is better than 6. Maybe the probability of 15% isn't, is different when you call a lower number. Maybe it's the Yu-Gi-Oh gods, like granting your wish for calling a low number with 6th Sense. But regardless, 6th Sense is terrible. Never coming off the list. Ever.
Hey guys, if you guys would like to buy the cheapest Yu-Gi-Oh cards from your favorite Yu-Gi-Tuber, all you have to do is click on the link in the description. That will take you to Google Docs where everything is listed below. Thanks for watching.
Number 2 is probably one of the most painful choices I've had to make because it should have been number 1. Alright, I'm pretty sure I gave it away. Painful Choice is a card that debuted in Magic Ruler, and its effect states I get to select 5 cards, albeit all 5 pieces of Exodia, or 5 Burning Abyss monsters, or heck, 5 Infernoid monsters, or 5 Pendulums. You have to add 1 to my hand. The rest are sent to the graveyard. Now, if you guys remember, I was talking about 6 cents being the ultimate mill card. Well, Painful Choice is the ultimate +1, +4, plus whatever. Because I choose 5 cards, you add 1 to my hand, and then the other 4 cards can be going to the graveyard for me to use later. I think it's a prime example of Foolish Burial plus Sangam-esque like effects with sending to, like, why is... Heard you were looking for me. This card is just really good. Like, I don't even understand who makes stuff like this? Who in the Konami R&D department decided to, oh, let's make them have a hard choice? No, all of them are easy choices for the person using the card effect. This is how number 1 makes me feel. I just thought you guys just like, okay, seriously. Number 1 actually is a homage to number 5 because it fits in the exact same story. And it's kind of obvious what I'm talking about if you were an old school Yu-Gi-Oh player. Royal Oppression, you know, the original Vanity's Emptiness. The Vanity's Emptiness on steroids, the Obliterator, the Game Ender, the anti-meta card of life. This card. Oh yeah. At the cost of 800 life points, you can negate a special summon and destroy that monster. Now, granted, this was back in the day when Stardust was out and people was like, oh, I can use my Stardust effect. No, it says negate the summon, so the monster never hit the field. And Stardust has to be on the field to activate its effect to tribute itself to stop Royal Oppression. Just for the people that needed to know some Kali effect judgeology, alright? The next thing is that the monster, it's just, why? I can choose when you can special summon. And a lot of people were saying, oh, but they can choose when you get the special summon too. Well, it doesn't matter if I summon 5 monsters on the field that all happen to be really strong and then flip Royal Oppression on me. Yeah, you can choose when I special summon if I've already special summoned. This card is so one-sided. Vanity's Emptiness looks like a child toy compared to it. Royal Oppression is just outright a card that should never come off the list, and I hope we never get to see it again. It's just overly busted. Maybe if they eroded it and said, your opponent can stop you and nothing else. Yeah, that sounds about right.